come and get it.
Alright, you guys actually didn't miss a thing, so we had the quick restart. We're ready to rock and roll. Here we go once again in the Acer Teamsbury Cup. Now, if there is one foreign player I would put my faith and trust in to take down a Korean in a ZVZ, it's going to be one of the boys from Team Liquid. And one of those two boys from Team Liquid is playing right now, spotting the top left corner of the map. He's the newcomer to this arena. His team's currently down one at the moment. Can he turn this around? It is the Red Zerg player, Liquid's TLO. Twitch TV, Barracuda, HyperX, Eraser, Need for Seed. Sponsor shoutouts. His opponent in the lower right, though, from Axiom Esports. I put the camera way too low, so let's pan over and buy some time while we get to the Blue Zerg player, Axiom's own Impact. Sponsored by PlanetSide 2, WASD Keyboards, Bitcoin, and Single Brits. Ah, there we go. That sounds on too. I hate these spawn locations, guys. Bottom line, I don't care what the matchup is. Top left, bottom right spawn locations just never make me happy. Now, it's worth noting, like, the two times we've seen Impact on this map in these locations, he's been 10-pull bailing all in, but not today. Team Liquid's TLO is going to play it savvy, and I go for the early cheese. Now, to explain why I hate this map, guys, and it's really regardless of the matchup, it has nothing to do with the choke, even though I whine about it all the time. You know, it's a really big, wide-open choke, big deal. It's the way that this map is structured. If you guys remember a map called Metropolis, it's kind of the same in the fact that it's long unnecessarily, it's really wide unnecessarily, and the watchtowers don't even cover that much of the map. And quite frankly, the worst part is, even if you do go for that, like, the reason early Lings works on this map is because the Overlords will never be in a position where they can stop the Lings. Like, let's say Impact had gone for like a 10-pull, right? Just run all the way around the side here, and oops, look at that, no Overlord saw you, boom, you're in your opponent's base. Which is why I think we're seeing a lot of cheese come out on this map from Zerg players, specifically in this matchup. Again, it's not just the Acer Teamsbury Cup. I've been casting a lot of things, and one of the most prevalent ones tends to be what I've just referenced here with the little bit of 10-pull bailings. But pretty similar builds from so far out of these guys. I think that the hatchery times came in with like a second of one another, but yeah, pools are finishing up here soon. One has gas, the other's just getting gas. It's the only real difference at the moment, but as we see, it's not by much. Impact's only going to be about two rounds ahead of TLO. Now, this is where we kind of gotta, like, honestly, like, you can play the player, you can try and guess the metagame, but you gotta play the map 9 times out of 10. The map is going to influence things more than anything else. And what we should look at is whether gas gets pulled at 100. Again, like mentioning before, you might not have to do early cheese, but speedlings are going to be not too bad to get across a map this massive very fast. Even if you go for roaches, it's going to take like a year before you get to your opponent's base without speed. So I could definitely see speedlings being appealing to both these players, but we do have speed on the way for Impact, not pulling off the gas. So it looks like he'll be transitioning out of that. The big reason we look for the pull off too, guys, is if you are going to go speedlings, you have to get as many minerals as you can, get the Queen's rocking and rolling, injects, Overlords, you name it, all very expensive things. Now these ceilings looks like they will bypass each other thanks to this weird, I don't know, technical doodad thing here in the middle of the map. As far as scouting is going to go, looks like Impact should be able to keep TLO from getting much. You can always block off that ramp. He's sending the Queens out a little bit aggressively, though, so one of these things may end up skirting by. Albeit just barely, but nope, he actually gets stopped at the ramp. Whereas Impact doesn't get a lot more accomplished for this. So neither player really getting a lot of scouting information off on the other. Most importantly, nobody did see gas timings. Impact, though, throwing down the bailing nest. Impact, though, chopping off those drones about 30 seconds earlier than you would expect. And that's going to be really difficult for TLO, who is, granted, going for Carapace upgrades, actually. If this can complete, for those who don't know, in StarCraft 2, one of the biggest, like almost most dynamic critical early upgrades, I would say, would be Carapace upgrades and Zerglings. What this does is it allows them to actually take a bailing hit. One bailing hit will not kill 50 Lings, but instead take them down very, 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 very low. But the amount of links coming across the map right now has been shown. We got a couple of frontline defenses here, but not a lot out of TLO. And he's looking to meet in the middle of the map. Definitely not what he wants to do. Fighting with the Queen's going to be a big benefit, and I don't know if he saw those Banelings coming in or not, but he's going to be fully aware that those are available in a moment's time. His own Baneling nest is on the way, and let's not forget those Carapace upgrades, if the Carapace upgrades can complete, will be a huge benefit to this fight. But for the time being, 2 Queens and a Spine-Car, they can snipe off this low amount of Banelings. I mean, honestly, 2, hell, even 5 or 7 are not that scary when you've got good control. And quite frankly, players like TLO, they have good control. Now, as far as the actual army value goes, I mean, the link count's a little too even to worry about. It's going to come a lot down to these Banelings, but for TLO, he's going to have a huge advantage to that Carapace upgrade. Again, a lot of what he's doing right now is trying to avoid the fight so that he can engage best he can with that Carapace upgrade. But he's actually just going to go on for a full-on counterattack, and this could actually be incredibly bad here for Impact. He's got all of his lings on this half of the map. He's got but 1 Baneling morphing in at home, 2 Queens, no Spine Crawlers of his own. Looks like not great starts here. Not great starts here at all. This is TLO, just kind of getting into the base real quick, focusing on a couple drones. Again, he's got to be a little bit careful. That Baneling does manage to take out a couple Banelings morphing into the mineral line as well. And as these Zerglings flip back here for Impact, again, those Carapace upgrades might not come into effect just yet, but the Banelings certainly will destroy Impact Zerglings if he stays there for too long. Knowing this, he retreats them backwards. A really smart choice, because that could have been very deadly. He needs everything at home right now to defend, and let's not forget, TLO's not done with this. He's still rallying a couple more lings across the map. That being said, he finally has his Carapace upgrade complete, and this is not going to be too happy for Impact. He will clean up these low amount of lings right now, and TLO's actually going to try and save those. Both players are trying to transition out of this, though. This is not simply stick until you can all in back and forth, back and forth. We got 4 gases and 4 gases, so if I wouldn't be shocked if it was going to be Mutalisks. Again, on a map that's massive, where you don't want to have a lot of roaches walking through the middle of it, Mutalisks sound like an excellent, very sexy, very juicy choice. So it will be a Spire command of TLO, and it will be a Spire command of Impact. Now, this is where the game's going to shift pretty heavily. You gotta consider for a second, TLO, he went for those Carapace upgrades and didn't get a lot of benefit from it. But Impact also made a lot more Banelings than TLO did over the course of this game. So TLO's got a slight gas lead. Not by much, but a little. And that's sometimes all you need. With his 3rd base starting up significantly earlier than Impact's as well, as long as he keeps this alive, he'll be really, quite frankly, well set moving forward in the game. The Banelings are also going to start falling off here too once Mutalisks come into play, so it's going to be really, really difficult to use them. No one really knows that the Adder's going for Spire yet, by the way. TLO did get cleaned out of the main before that Spire got slapped down, but yeah, if he runs up there now, he'll see it, he'll confirm it, he'll be really happy to know that he's a little bit ahead in this regard. These Zerglings are winning the Zergling fight, again, thanks to this Carapace upgrade. He's continuing to flood and flood and flood and flood. Looks like the Baneling's looking to come in here, and I gotta be honest, guys, TLO is like magic. He's doing like 5 things at once right now. One of the big things, of course, is still macroing behind this. Impact not even gonna let this get to the point of Mutalisks. Can't handle the lings. GG is called, and TLO will actually even up the score now, 1-1 for Team Liquid.